Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Resurgence meta right now in Warzone is honestly fantastic. There are so many different types of weapons you can run, whether you're looking for a nice rifle SMG combo, if you're more of a sniper fan, whatever the case is. There's a bunch of parity in the Resurgence meta as it stands. And that said, today I want to go through and break down the new top 5 best Resurgence meta loadouts to be running. First and foremost, let's get perks and equipment out of the way. This is the same on pretty much every single loadout here. For the most part, I'm still running smokes a lot. I do switch over to stims here and there. These are also very frequent in the map. Like, I feel like I find stims out of chests so much more often than I do smoke. So if you ever want to switch over mid game, you always have the opportunity to do so there. But really, either or there is going to be a fantastic choice. Then obviously for Resurgence, getting the insta finishes with the knives, not having to burn the ammo, get the pings on your radar, no brainer. Nothing's changed there in years for that. Even though they have updated some of the perks, I've used a decent bit of Mountaineer up until this point. I still lean towards Survivor just for the faster regen, so I'm still rocking with that. Sprinter for the infinite attack sprints, although Tracker, still really good if it's not bugged for you and you've surpassed level 29, even though you're Prestige Master. Also a pretty good option there, as is Quick Fix. And then Gung Ho and Perk 3 is typically my go-to here as well. Of course, though, going after Specialists, getting all of the perks, and all be all there. But now that we've got the perks and the equipment out of the way, we can just focus straight up on weapons for the remainder of the video. And the first one here is an all MW3 loadout. We got the Kar 98K for sniping purposes, then the MCW conversion for sniper support. This might be the most aggressive and dependable sniping setup, especially for Resurgence. The MCW in the close range kills quicker than pretty much everything in the game. The Jack Raven kit on here is a major game changer. You basically turn it into an SMG with a TTK that is better than all the standard SMGs in the game. I also go for the Cutthroat stock on here, just helps speed it up even more, makes it feel even more like an SMG. Unfortunately, the only drawback of this setup is that you'd only have a 40 round mag, and with an 800 RPM, the damage per mag is not fantastic. You can live with it and you'll knock players fast enough that you'll have time to reload, but really if this was a 50 or a 60, it would be maybe the #1 most used meta gun in the game, honestly. Spirit Fire Suppressor on here extends out our range and our velocity some, so a 547 velocity, just over 20 meters of effective damage range. Gonna be great for sniper support. And then use whatever scope you like. I really enjoy the Nidar model 2023, but if you like something more, feel free to go ahead and run that. So that's your close range covered. You jump to the long range or even the mid range with the Kar 98K. This is the most aggressive sniper in the game in terms of ADS speed. It's got a pretty forgiving one-shot range as well. For the scope, really, again, matter of preference. I've been using the range collar a lot as of late. Spirit Fire Suppressor helps out with range and velocity. 7.62 long barrel helps out with range and velocity, and a high grain ammo helps out with range and velocity. So we get a 67 meter one-shot headshot range. That's fantastic for Area 99 or Rebirth. 904 velocity, bullets drop, bullet lead, hit scan range, all great there as well. Then lastly, to make it even more aggressive, I go for no stock. You get an ADS speed of 377, faster than really any other sniper option that's going to one-shot at that range. This thing is the definition of aggressive sniping. This next combination is kind of a fun one. It is really aggressive, but also pretty versatile as well. The Cypher 091 may be the most versatile rifle in the game, whether you want to fight mid-range, long range. You could even build it out for close range and sniper support if you wanted. We pair this with the fastest SMG in the game, the Superi. Now, it's not the fastest killing. The TTK is competitive in its first damage range, but this is all about the actual movement. You sprint around the map like crazy fast with this thing. It is absurd. You fly around the map, so if you need to rotate, if you're just trying to play mad aggressive, the Superi is a fantastic choice there. Then the Cypher got you covered for the mid to long range. This is so easy to use, this setup in general. I like the Volsky Reflex. I've been bouncing back and forth with this. The Etero Microdot I kind of run here and there. There's a couple of other good reflexes in here too. The KNS Red Dot, the Etero Red Dot, 2 times, 3 times, whatever scope you want. Again, it's all preference, really. Suppressor keeps me off the radar. If you want a little bit of added control, you could switch over to the Compensator if you're okay with showing up on the minimap when you fire. Reinforced Barrel, 55 meter effective damage range basically is going to be totally sufficient for Rebirth and Area 99, and so is the 972 velocity, so we're covered there. Ranger foregrip gives us some horizontal control, so again, the weapon becomes even more predictable, and you get some better sprinting movement speed as well, so you're more aggressive and the gun's easier. Win-win. Then Extended 2 is going to be a 60 rounder. That works fine for all squad sizes there. For the Superi, as mentioned, we just care about the mobility here for the most part, so outside of mobility, I do run high grain just to get a little bit of extra damage range there. Like I said, the TTK is fine in its first damage range, but after it drops off pretty harshly, right? So that extends that out some. Then the 40 round extended mag is going to be a no-brainer choice. That's the max option there. Besides that, Rescue 9 stock, better movement speed, tack sprint speed, and some better control too, so that's a win. Jack slash, better control and better movement speed than the short barrel. Better ADS speed, better movement speed, better sprint to fire. So this thing is lightning fast. If you wanted to, cosplay as Lightning McQueen in Warzone, for whatever reason, this would probably be the closest thing to it. And by the way, as we are breaking down all the weapons and setups here today, if you enjoyed the video, you find the info helpful, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. Much love to everyone who does take the time to do so. Really does help grow the channel and share the video around to new viewers. And if you happen to be one of those new viewers, or maybe you just have not subscribed yet, every single day, this is your one-stop shop for everything going on in COD, whether it's meta breakdowns like this, the latest news and updates, it's all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. Next up, we got another multi-era class setup, an MW3 option and a BO6 option, the SVA 545. Super quick TTK in the close range and the mid range, great for Resurgence gameplay, and the C9, dependable SMG up close. You can't go wrong with this thing. It's checking all the right boxes. For the SVA here, gonna be a pretty basic MW3 setup, all things considered. So not our model 2023 for my preferred optic here. Spirit fire suppressor extending out our range and our velocity. Some precision barrel will also do that as well, while also adding in some control. Then I do end up going for high grain rounds. So altogether, we end up with just over a 50-meter effective damage range and over 1,000 velocity. So this thing's gonna feel really reliable, all things considered. Then I got the 60 round extended mag on there, great for all squad sizes, of course. If you do want to focus a little bit more on control, you could switch out something like high grain for an under barrel. Just any vertical grip on there will help out with control, and that'll make the full auto version of the gun a little bit easier. But yeah, this thing kills insanely quick as an aggressive rifle. And then for the close range for movement, the C9 has you covered. This thing is snappy, aggressive, easy to use. Compensator on here keeps you accurate, keeps the control down there. Long barrel, better damage range. We get just under a 16-meter effective damage range with this, so that's working fine there. Ranger foregrip, control, and mobility on there. Extended 2, gonna be a 50. That'll work okay. That'll be just fine for all squad sizes with this rate of fire. Then I really like ergonomic rear grip, just focusing on a better slide to fire speed because I do a lot of sliding in my gameplay. Then just a better ADS speed as well. So like I said, it's aggressive, it's easy to use, decent damage range, and it's gonna kill pretty quick as well. Hey everyone, real quick, just want to give a shout out to my friends over at G Fuel. If you are looking to stay hydrated, energized, or focused, G Fuel is the #1 place to go. They've got so many different flavors depending on what you're looking for. Their hydration tubs and their brand new hydration sticks are phenomenal. So if you're just looking to sip on something, stay hydrated throughout the day, that's a great choice. They've also got their energy tubs and their cans as well. If you're looking to stay focused and energized, whether you're gaming, doing anything else, they've got you covered there as well. If you ever want to grab anything at all from the G Fuel site, be sure to throw in code WhosImmortal at checkout, and that'll save you some cash. Link for that will be down in the description below if you're interested. Following that, we've got another pretty interesting setup. It's gonna look like it's kind of crazy on paper, but if you try it out in game, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. The AMES 85, just a super dependable rifle. It is so easy to use. It's got a very competitive TTK over range, great for the mid to long range. We pair this with a Lachmann Shroud from MW2. The important part here is using the aftermarket part, the Jack Decimator kit that basically just makes this the MP5. It's a fully auto version of the gun. It's a little bit slower, it's a little bit clunkier than other SMGs, but it kills insanely quick with this Decimator kit on there. So if you're looking for a quick TTK, this is an option. It just takes a lot more getting used to than some of the subs you've probably been using for the past couple of weeks or months. I do go for the mobile stock on here to help out a little bit with that ADS speed. The crouch movement speed's kind of irrelevant. The idle sway is not a huge deal, but it's something. And the control is not nearly as bad as using something like stockless on there for sure. 50 round extended mag, that's the max here, kind of a no-brainer. For the underbarrel, you got choices. If you want better mobility, which like I said, this thing's not insanely fast, the ADS speed, the sprint to fire, everything like that's not crazy. Edge BW4 or any of the similar hand stops will help out with that. If you want the gun to be easier, you're not a fan of the recoil, go for any vertical foregrip. It doesn't matter if it's Merc, if it's Bruin, whatever the case is, all the vertical foregrips work the same. And then lastly, I do go for the grapple barrel. This is an integrated suppressor barrel, so you get better range, better control, and you stay off the radar all in one there. So that's pretty convenient. So it's an interesting setup, kind of depends on what you value the most in it. If you are okay with the control, if you want the faster mobility, whatever the deal is there, this thing will melt in the close range. Then you pair it with the AMES and you are set for the mid to long range. Like I said, I go for the Willis 3 times in this case, another optic that I do enjoy, especially for mid to long range based builds. Suppressor, straight up staying off the radar. Reinforced barrel for the better range and velocity. We get nearly a 56-meter effective damage range and a 931 velocity out of that. Ranger foregrip, the recoil is not too bad, so we can go about half in on the horizontal control and get some better movement out of that, which is always a win. And then extended to 60 rounder on a 750 RPM will be just fine for all squad sizes as well. So a bit of a different setup, across the board with the MW2 option, but still very fun. Then lastly here, an all BO6 setup, we've got the AK-74, which definitely has more recoil than several of the other rifle options here, but it also has a much better TTK. And on Resurgence, where your fights are typically not out at 70, 80, 90 meters, the recoil will be noticeable, but it won't be as difficult to stay on target because the enemies are going to be a little bit closer. Their targets are going to be a little bit larger and easier to stay on, right? So the AK can shred on Resurgence, and the KSV, just a super dependable SMG, right? So for this AK setup, we're still pretty much going all in on control. Again, go for whatever optic you want. I like the Volsky Reflex, Compensator, and vertical foregrip on here. So we're attacking vertical control and horizontal control between each of those in the max way possible. Reinforced barrel, better range and velocity, almost 1,000 velocity, and a 70-meter effective damage range is insane when it comes to this thing hitting. Then also extended 2 will be 50 here. You could jump up to 60 on extended 3. It'll just be a little bit slower for Resurgence gameplay. You might value that extra mobility just a little bit in exchange for 10 bullets, but if you really want those extra 10 shots, it's not going to be the end of the world, right? Then on the KSV here, I changed this setup so much. At times I want to run an optic, at times I want to run a suppressor, at times I want a rear grip, I want a stock, I want recoil springs. Really, this thing is a great gunfighter, loadout, because you could go in on all of those. But for now, I've been running this the past couple of days, and I really do like the feel of this. It's so easy to use, and it's super aggressive. Compensator keeps you accurate, especially on the iron sight build here. Long barrel, we get just under a 20-meter effective damage range, which is insanely good for an SMG, 575 velocity. Ranger foregrip, control and mobility. Extended 2, 50 will work fine for all squad sizes. Then I like the balanced stock on here. It helps out the general movement, so it's a bit more aggressive. Then the strafe when you're ADSing is also noticeably better as well, and I really like that feel on a weapon like this. But that being said, those are 5 of the best loadouts to be running here on Resurgence in Warzone as it stands. That's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out to guarantee you are always up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.